I grew up in a very small town in the South Island of New Zealand called Timaru, and I don't remember a lot of my childhood. I was kind of, your kind of classic toddler that loved Barney and like all of that kind of thing. But then when I was 3, kind of everything started to change. And I read my child protection files recently that kind of talk about from that age about me going from happy and bubbly to dull and lacking emotion. My files say that from about at the age of 3, I was sexually abused by 3 different men. And so, that definitely has a lot to play. But when I look back at my story and kind of everything that happened, that sent me on a cycle, a downward spiral. And then there was a whole lot of stuff going on at school as well. So I was being bullied at school. But I think that the biggest thing was just that I had beliefs in me that I was unlovable, that I was a burden, and that I didn't deserve to be here. I just thought that life would be easier if I wasn't here. And so I don't know if as a 12-year-old I knew that if I did this that I would never wake up again. But to be honest, I really don't think that I cared. I just wanted the pain to end. It's a story that I shared in my TED Talk, and it's kind of the reason why I do everything that I do. But it was after my final suicide attempt, and I was in the psych ward at the time, and this woman came in, her name's Esther, and she basically was sitting with me, and I was bawling my eyes out, and she was like, "Jazz, why are you crying?" And I turned to her and I was like, I'm just so tired of fighting. And she looked at me and goes, "Jazz, what do you think the definition of fighting is? Because I don't think that you're fighting, I think you're only surviving. And it's only when you learn how to fight that the change that you're longing to see is going to happen." And so I remember taking that and going, shoot, like if I've actually just been surviving this whole time and fighting might change something, then I've got to learn how to do that. And so that's kind of the moment that I can pinpoint that everything started to change. What I very quickly discovered was that I wasn't fighting my suicidal tendencies or my suicidal behaviours. I was fighting the beliefs that put me there. So the beliefs, I'm unlovable, I'm a burden, I don't deserve to be here. And so what I did is that I wrote those beliefs down on a piece of paper. I drew a line, and then on the other side I wrote down every single thing that people said or did that contradicted those beliefs. So that every time my mind would be, "Jazz, you're unlovable, Jazz, you're a burden," I would pull out this list and I would have solid evidence in front of me that my internal reality wasn't matching the external truth. And then I just, things like engaging in therapy, it's really hard when you're going in with the perception that this is your identity, therefore it will never change. And so learning how to separate myself from it so that when I went in to see a therapist, I went in with the intention of, okay, if this is just something I'm struggling with, then maybe I can work through it. And maybe the psychologist hasn't studied for, 5-6 years and don't know what they're talking about. So kind of all things like that really helped me learn how to fight.